All right. Well, welcome to another expert interview. These are always my favorite because I get to pick the brains of amazing people. I get to ask them all the questions I want to know. And I figure if I'm curious and interested, you listening or watching probably are as well. And today is fun because I get to introduce myself. Not really, but I get to introduce another Devin. And so it's always fun when we're doing introduction emails and introducing each other because we got to put last names in so people don't get confused. So, Devin Butler, man, good to have you. We were just having a lot of fun conversations on the small world before this, but dude, I just love to have people introduce themselves. You're going to do it better than me. So tell us who you are and what you do, brother.
Well, appreciate you having me on, Devin. And yeah, it is quite funny all the email threads that we're on, going back and forth with both of our names in there. But grateful to be here and to yeah, just dive deep on community building as a whole. But really my background, so not to dive too deep into it, but before getting into entrepreneurship, my passion, everything that I was focused on was football. So I played college football. Football was like a big passion of mine. And I had a paradigm shift throughout college, and that's really when I decided to go down the path of entrepreneurship. And granted, when you're first getting started, it's a lot of business failures and trying to just figure it out. So it wasn't like I went and started super successful companies in college, but I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I started to think differently, and that was really like the turning point in my life where I was like, I really want to pursue business. And so right after I graduated college, moved out to Michigan and started my first couple like legitimate companies out here that also didn't work out very well. Started a videography company, a lead generation company, just trying to like figure out business and how to scale a successful company. And that journey naturally led me down the path of starting Arizona Entrepreneurs because I was new to the state, trying to get started in business. And I realized really quickly, like, I don't got friends out here that are entrepreneurs. I don't have coaches. I don't have mentors. Like, I'm trying to figure this all out by myself, going into it blind. So I really realized that I needed to get in the right rooms around the right people. And there was a need in the market for it as well. Like a lot of the events just like lacked that genuine connections. A lot of them felt really transactional. So started Arizona Entrepreneurs about 4.5 years ago to this date. And we've scaled it really big. We've had well over 6,000 entrepreneurs in person at our live events. So we've done a live event every single month for 4.5 years straight. And yeah, built a really amazing community out here of entrepreneurs, brought some people that I've always looked up to in the entrepreneurship world on our stages to come and speak. And it really just like immersed me in this world of business, but also community building and the natural progression. Building Arizona Entrepreneurs, a lot of people wanted to start the same model in different states. So I did a lot of consulting with people starting in different states, working with other mastermind groups, networking groups, helping them to scale and build successful communities. And that naturally led me into where I like had the realization where it's like I could really help coaches, experts, people who are able to provide real transformation for clients. I can help them to build communities and bring in their ideal clients through building these communities and essentially building a client acquisition funnel. So I do a lot of work with coaches and experts now, helping them to launch online communities, in-person communities, just bringing people together around their expertise and zone of genius.
Heck yeah, man. I love that. And thank you so much for being open and transparent too with your journey. I mean, no one only hits home runs, right? Like we've all stumbled through some chaos and it's fun when you find your zone of genius. And I know like the first time we met, it was very obvious, right? Like this is your passions here. And what's great about it is, the networking community relationship building, like it's obviously something we're doing. We're recording this inside of a community. And I love it. Like it's opened some doors. Your strategy and some of your advice is allowing us to shape some of the stuff we're doing. And so just excited to have you here, man. So talk to me about, let's talk really big. Like what's the big vision for a community? Like what's possible? Like let's anchor something huge. Like what get sell communities to people.
Communities, so there's two ways to think about it, two ways that I think about it, but communities, like us as human beings, we are constantly looking for communities. And that's like how like our ancestors and ancestors, like we all want to be around other people. And that's when we feel validated, we build friendships and relationships. That's where people want to be, is involved with communities. And so when you realize that, and you think about it in the business world, like if you have a product, a service, a way that you can support people as a business owner, which we all do, the best way that we've seen, instead of just building a brand or an audience, and that's always been really big, especially of the last 10 years with social media, everybody's trying to build an audience and get a bunch of Instagram followers or build an email list. But the way that I look at it is when you're building an audience, granted, that's amazing to have an audience. It is valuable. So not to discount that, but it's like you speaking from stage to this audience, where you're up here on this pedestal speaking on stage to this audience versus a community is bringing the people together, and like you being a part of the community, involved in leading and facilitating. So building a community around your product, around your service, around your coaching offer, around your area, your zone of genius, what we've realized is, one, it turns into the best client acquisition funnel. And for me, when I started Arizona Entrepreneurs, as I shared before, I was a failed entrepreneur. Like I had multiple businesses that didn't work out. So I had a lot of imposter syndrome during that time of like, am I capable, or should I be doing this, like building this community of entrepreneurs when I'm struggling myself? But throughout that time, I was just the facilitator, where I was not the expert, and I never positioned that myself that way. I brought on experts to speak and teach, but I was just facilitating and bringing people together, and that's changed my life in a lot of ways. But thinking about it in this lens as well, as far as the business opportunity with communities, if I was say I owned a marketing agency, just as an example, I brought together, like I shared earlier, over 6,000 entrepreneurs throughout the state, built some amazing relationships. Like the community that I built, if I had a coaching offer, an agency offer, anything to sell in a way that I could provide transformation for clients, I would have like the business would have done a lot better than even what it's done today. So I share that because when you're building a community around the genuine intention of like providing value, bringing people together around a common topic, it is a great way to, one, just build one-on-one relationships, but also to like be positioned as an expert and to bring people into your different offers or services or products. So community building, to tie a bow on all of it, it's like it's what we're craving as human beings. We want to be immersed and involved in communities. We crave connection, and in addition, as the host and the facilitator of communities, it's extremely beneficial because, one, just the amazing relationships that you'll build that lead to opportunities, but also because if you have some sort of offer, a way that you can service clients, building a community, in my eyes, is the best way to bring them in versus like a simple landing page or book a call funnel. Like there's a lot of different funnels people use in the marketing space, but sending people to a community where you're just delivering value up front is what we've seen that works really well.
Love that, man. Let's talk imposter syndrome for a second because you brought that up, and I think that's a great aside we should probably talk
Yeah.
about for a second. Talk me through how you overcame that. Like, how do you break through imposter syndrome for yourself? Let's see if there's a nugget in there because I know it's something we all deal with at certain points.
Yeah. So for me, it was when I was first starting Arizona Entrepreneurs, and I was talking to someone I looked up to at the time. It was like on this Zoom chat, like he was hosting like a little mastermind group. And I shared with him, I was like, I claim this Instagram domain. I'm starting to put out content around Arizona Entrepreneurs. I kind of want to turn it into like a business or a paid offer, but I don't really feel like I'm capable of doing that because I failed all these businesses in the past. Like I don't know if that would make sense for me to do it versus if I was a successful entrepreneur. Now I build a community to bring entrepreneurs together. And he's like, he told me straight up, he's like, Devin, this is going to be your success story. You are just as capable of anyone. You're amazing with people, and you're a great facilitator. You're great at bringing people together. And that was like the what I needed to hear at that time, because it was really as an entrepreneur, especially, you're going to face a lot of times where it's like this is an uncomfortable situation, and you know that like the beautiful things in life happen on the other side of that comfort zone. So I knew that, and it was really just like that extra nudge and push to where it's like I am fully capable of doing this. I do not have to be the expert. I just have to facilitate and bring people together. But in all areas of my business, I've noticed how life-changing opportunities have happened just from like stepping outside of that imposter syndrome and realizing that I don't like love the term fake it till you make it, but it essentially is that, to where like my first time public speaking is like, like I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm stuttering my words, all the things, but like as I got more and more repetitions, now I feel like I'm a great public speaker. And same thing with even just starting the community, launching offers, doing things like that. You just have to be you have to be okay with failing. And I started to learn that throughout my journey to where it's like, if this doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. And then, then that's the end of it. So instead, yeah, for me, it was really just stepping outside of my comfort zone and realizing that all the things that I want in life are on the edge of discomfort. And if this is something where I feel like an imposter, it's probably something that I should pursue a little bit more and dig into that a little bit more.
Thanks, man. Thank you for sharing that. Like I said, I know we all have moments. I find myself on meetings still where I'm like, how did I end up in this room on this meeting? Like, who are you? Why are you listening to me? But I like that you talked about like having a mentor or like an inner circle or someone you can lean into where you're having those moments of discomfort and say like, hey, like I'm struggling with this because that's where people can speak into you, right? And I think that that's sometimes what you need is that other person go, no, you are a badass. And guess what? Like you got this. Like this is your zone of genius. Lean into it.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's talk building a community. I'd love to talk free versus paid. Is there a science to that? Is there an art? Is there a recommendation? Do you have both? Like give us the kind of foundational conversation on, if I want to launch a community, what should I launch?
Yeah, and I feel like it depends on what your offer is. Like there's a lot of different variables that go into that, but what we've seen is free versus paid, like comparing the two. When there's Alex Ramosi says it best, where he's like, you want to make your free stuff better than other people's paid stuff, and you can do that through a lot of different channels. So some people they build a huge YouTube audience and build a ton of YouTube subscribers, but really at the end of the day, it's getting people to know, like, and trust you and to build a relationship with you, whether that's like live and being able to get to know you on calls or through watching your content. So if you're going to have a conversation with someone about like your coaching offer, a way that you can support them, if they've gone through 20 hours of your content and they're like a huge fan of you, they're constantly watching your stuff and getting value from you, it's going to be a lot easier of an offer to like get them to join your program. So it's that same methodology with free versus paid. Like if you don't have an amazing free lead magnet, which I personally feel like communities are the best ones, is like it's a way to just anybody that you meet being able to invite them into your free community and just have this resource available for people where they can get value without paying you a single dollar. And then for those who really are looking for the transformation that you provide, they will naturally select themselves and raise their hand that they want to like work with you on a deeper level. So that's the best funnel that we find working right now is free to paid versus like just going straight to paid. But like I said, there's variables and it depends on your offer. Like some people, if they have a huge audience built and they just want to like start off with a paid community, it could work. And that's how I did it with Arizona Entrepreneurs to start. We started with a paid monthly recurring membership and it worked. But I really like the free to paid model just because you're able to provide value to anybody and then in addition, you're able to like easily find those who are a really good fit for your paid offers.
Love that. Love that. Talk to me about platforms. I know there's a million platforms out there. Like, is there a preference? Do you have recommendations? Like, just talk to me about platforms or what people might want to be looking for in a platform to host their community.
Yeah. So first to talk about what people should be looking for in a platform for building their community, you want to make it like it needs to be very user friendly because if there's any like extra page where they have to put in information or something that just makes it not super user friendly, people aren't going to use it. And that's like that's just how it goes. And I've been the same person like as a consumer of products where it's like I don't even know where the page is and I don't like take the extra 5 minutes to find it because it's just like it's not accessible to me right there in front of me. In addition, they have to like typically if there's a mobile app version of it, that's the best. Because if you have to go to some Safari link on my phone and I want to just be able to hop in the community, go watch a course or whatever the case may be, it's important that there's an app component to it. We've tested quite a few different communities. So for all the clients that I'm working with, we're helping them to build online communities. And we've tested Circle, we've tested WAP, we've tested Go High Level communities, and there's benefits to all of them. But what we found is we like School the best, and the main reason, because mainly with our model, we are helping people build free communities and use that as a way to bring in coaching clients, high ticket coaching clients. And so the reason I like School the best is because there is a lot of users on the platform with Hermosi's name behind it. A lot of people are using the platform. So if I just go into like any of my online communities or our clients' online communities, if you click on like any given person's name, like probably 6 times out of 10, they're also involved in other communities. And the benefit with that is it's similar to Facebook, where I'm going to be on Facebook, like looking through posts or whatever the case may be, and then I join a community, but it's all around like growth and community building. So with school, like if you're already on the platform, I'm in Devin's community, and then I jump over to Arizona Entrepreneurs, like you're already active, engaged on the platform. That's why I like school the best. Go High Level is they are tech leaders. Like I love Go High Level. I use them for my own business, and all of our clients. We use Go High Level with school. Their community platform is, it looks identical to school, to be honest. It looks identical to school, but the challenge with it is like they don't have a ton of users using the online community platform. So I feel like that one is going to continue to grow and improve. But right now, school seems to be the industry leader, and then like WAP and Circle are, everybody's got their own preference, but at the end of the day, you just want it to be something where your ideal clients are active on the platform, and making it easy for them to use.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and I know you kind of we were gonna make the jump to high level because we use it as our back end too. And we you and I had this debate, right? Like what are the benefits? Should we stay? Should we go? Should we this? And I think what I'm finding now is your exact thing. Like when I click on the members that are in our world, a lot of the members are in other communities. So it's the path of least resistance, right? They answer a couple questions, they're in the community. Unified notifications, I think that's super interesting, right? So I get notified from all the communities in one place. And then when you click it, you hop straight into whatever community that notification lives in. That's super convenient. And then the map feature was coming out right when you and I had that last conversation. And I wanted to share that because I was just in Dallas and I was able to connect with two members because I could go to the map and be like, oh, hey, your one was in Austin, one was in Dallas. And I could send messages and say, hey, I'm going to be in Dallas these dates. Are you available? And boom, I'm able to have meetings. And so like if you're in ACES, like that's a cheat code, right? Go look at the map when you're traveling and meet other members. But if you're hosting a community, that's a great way too to figure out like, could you do content days in a market? If you're going to host a retreat, what geography might make the most sense for the bulk of your community to travel to? So lots of cool features. Pick one, scale it up. Like, obviously, we're using school, high level backend's great. So good advice there. Talk to me about, I think you just launched, was it Blue Collar University? Is this one of your clients? I think and he crushed it on his launch, I think. Could you talk us through that? Like talk me through what he had and why a community has turned into a great resource for him.
Yeah, so he has a really cool story where the gentleman, his name's Steph, and he built a $4 million snow removal company out in Canada. And throughout the entire time that he was building that business, he documented the journey. So he was building, like posting YouTube content, posting Instagram content. So over the last few years, and he put a lot of time and energy into it, but over the last few years, he built really big channels. So he's got like over 120K subs on YouTube, over 100K followers on Instagram, and he has a very like highly engaged audience. And so when they reached out to me, they were looking to like create some sort of coaching offer because he was already doing coaching where there was a lot of people reaching out to him, like asking for like, hey, can we meet? I want some advice. So he had a $300 1 hour coaching call where people would hop on Zoom with him, and he would just like go over their biggest constraint and give them like live coaching and feedback. But they really wanted to scale that up. And so what we did, same model that I've been talking about, is we built a free school community for him. And all of the, mainly what we're doing now is like just driving conversions through the DMs of like getting people to join the school group through DMs, because he doesn't want to be like over pushy with it, because he's built a really like natural organic audience and he doesn't want to over monetize. But we built the free school community. We did a launch where we created a wait list, and we had an email list of probably like 800 people. We one click invited everybody on the wait list. It was actually like a huge dopamine rush because we like one click invited everybody on the wait list. And I think within like 10 seconds, there was like 25 members in the group. We're like, yo. And so I think we're at like right around 450 members in the group right now, and it's continuing to grow. And it's just super cool to see like there's people in there, like one person like opened up and was just like, yeah, today was a really tough day. My equipment broke down, this and this. And then just like dozens of comments of people like, dude, keep going. Hey man, this is what makes us great. And so like just the support aspect, and that's like what a real community is. And then also people just like sharing results and wins and things that they've had from like meeting with Steph prior with the one-on-one coaching that they did. But it has turned into like a very engaged ecosystem of blue collar business owners that are building and scaling their companies. And we're launching on June 4th the paid offer. And so it's a $500 a month paid offer where they get like direct coaching from Steph every single month. We're going to be doing like a couple hours worth of calls every single week to like help them with scaling their blue collar business. And it's turned into the best funnel where for him, all similar to what I was talking about before, he has this huge YouTube audience, huge Instagram audience where it's like him talking with a microphone from stage. But when he's like, hey, join us inside a blue collar university, now they're in this community with him. He's commenting on their posts. They're on a live call with him with like 20 to 40 other people, like able to like see him right there. And it's funny because like YouTubers who build a big like subscriber audience, they have that celebrity effect where when you watch someone's content so much on YouTube and like you see them in person, it's like, oh, dude, you're that guy. So similar with him to like be involved in his like ecosystem and world inside of his online community, people find a ton of value in that. And we have a really dialed in coaching program that we built out to like support them directly with. The core pillars are offer and pricing, marketing, sales, and building their team. But like when scaling a blue collar business, a lot of these people are operators. They're inside of their business, like actually putting up the drywall, doing the snow removal themselves versus like building out their team, building out their marketing, their sales, their offer and pricing to be able to like take a step back and like work on the business instead of in it. So super cool stuff we're doing with him. But yeah, that's the overview of what that project consists of.
It's been fun to watch that one, and I love that you talk about, right, like he had an audience out there, right?
Mhm.
But you kind of get to invite him in, and I'm sure the rush was real, right? Like sending that out if you got an email list and getting people to come engage with you. And then I'm finding the same thing. Like when we get on some of our connection calls or in the paid group on strategy calls, man, we're having such good conversations. Like we're changing people's lives, we're supporting each other, and that gets back to that innate craving for community. And so I just love that, man. I know I wanted to kind of tee up that story because it's been fun to watch. What are some kind of top tips for being a community host? Like how do we what are best practices or what are things to avoid? Kind of give us the playlist.
The first thing I'll say, and this is something that I've struggled with, and I know a lot of people struggle with this, is like when you build a community, if you, as the moderator, the facilitator, the host, if you're not active inside the community, nobody else is going to be because nobody wants to be the first person at the party. And so if there's no engagement in the community and the host isn't even engaging, nobody's going to go in there and post. So it's important that the creator of the community is posting. And like as you scale, you can build a team around that and have people helping you to like create engagement, post, like posts, things of that nature. But it's very important that the creator is active inside of the community. And then in addition, something that's worked really well is like bringing on community leaders where they're incentivized in some sort of way, whether that's through affiliate agreements or they're on payroll or they're just a volunteer, but they get access to some sort of program where you have a handful of community leaders that are in charge of like something very low barrier where it doesn't take them a ton of time or energy, where they're in charge of like posting twice inside of the community per week. And so they put, hey, what's your guys' favorite book to read? But just to stimulate conversation and get people talking because it takes people to actually open up and like share the challenges they're going through, to ask questions, to like try to get feedback. That's like what creates real community is when people are engaged in talking in that nature. So if you have the creator itself plus some community leaders, that oftentimes like stimulates engagement. But outside of that, I would say one of the biggest things is like host similar to this, like hosting something live, because when you have a community, the connection point is like you could be talking to someone in the DMs, you could be talking inside of the discussion thread, but one of the best connection points is being able to actually be live with the person on Zoom or even in person at an event, even better. So having connection points of actually like bringing the community together where we're meeting face to face is one of the most powerful things you can do versus just like keeping it all online with profile pictures where you don't actually get to know a person.
Love it. What are some things you shouldn't do? Like, are there any mistakes you see people make where it's like you just blew your community up or you're letting people not follow rules, or like just is there anything we should avoid?
I would say definitely the rule side of it. So you don't want people like typically for any of the communities that we build, we like make a very clear rule. Like we want everybody to introduce themselves, share what it is that they do. But if people are just like constantly in the group, hey, we're doing a 15% off spring cleaning special comment, but like you don't want people in the group spamming. So that's something that as the community leader you should avoid like allowing that to happen in the group. And you could do it a few ways with school, but you can kick people directly from the group, but you could also just like send them a DM and like remove the post and let them know that that's not how the community is structured. Outside of that, it's like just like thinking about the community from the genuine aspect of you're bringing these people together around a common topic. Like, how can I change their life without them paying me a dollar? And I'd never want it to get misunderstood, like with the fact that we're building a client acquisition funnel, but still the same intention applies that we are just trying to provide value for free, so much value that that we don't have to do any sales to where people are like, can I please work with you more? I want more help from you. So we're just building an ecosystem, bringing people together around a common topic to provide so much value that it's a no-brainer for them to want to work with people on a deeper level. So over monetizing a free school group and like just constantly, hey, same thing. If you as the creator, hey, say 15% on this, like constantly promoting things in there, let people come to you, build a clean like system and funnel to it. So it's easy for people to do that. But don't like be over salesy inside the community. Set it up in a way to where you're just providing a ton of value on the front end and leading people to the conversation of like, hey, here's what it looks like to work with us if you want more support.
Love it. Talk to me about some growth strategies. Obviously, if you have your own database, invite them. If you're active on social, put the posts up, tease stuff. That's all great. But like, what are some other strategies you're seeing to get people involved? Are you using paid ads? Are you sending LinkedIn messages? Like, give us some tips and tricks on growing and what you're seeing.
Yeah, there's quite a few things. So one that we had a discussion about, and I think this is genius, is like the JV partnership. So school launched a new feature where you're able to track where people came from. So for example, if Devin wanted to invite his entire community to Arizona entrepreneurs, we can track all the people that joined through Devin. And so say we have like for Arizona entrepreneurs, as an example, we have our inner circle offer. It's $1,000 a year to be a member of the inner circle. And so, say Devin does an invite to his entire email list, I'm able to see everybody who joined in from Devin specifically, and then they join the inner circle. You can have like an affiliate model there where it was an easy joint venture. Devin, it's funny because we're both named Devin, so I'm like talking in third person here, but Devin invites his whole list. We see all the people that joined in through him, and then from there, pay out commissions for the people that join us inside the inner circle. So, creating different ways for JVs. Another one, and we talked about this, was like for a speaker series or a speaker session. Like if I'm coming on here to speak inside of your school group, we invite my entire email list. Like, hey, join me live. I'm going to be speaking inside of Devin's Aces group. Join us inside of this group, and we send them all to join. So JV partnerships and being able to like share audiences and lists is like a huge way to grow very quickly. Because like I shared with Steph and with Blue Collar University, we had an email list of 800 people, and we have 450 people now, but it grew really quickly off like a relatively small email list. So if you know someone with an email list of 20,000 people and you invite all those people, it can grow rapidly. So JV partnerships, something else that works really well for us is LinkedIn automation. So how that works is you're able to send 1,000 connection requests per month. Once they accept the connection request, they instantly get a school invite. And this is through a lot of like systems and tech setup that we've done. But once they accept the LinkedIn request, they get a school invite to your community. And we do a lot of work on the front end to make sure we're targeting the right people. So they're like it's for Arizona entrepreneurs, it's Arizona business owners that we're inviting into the school community. And you can also have message conversations with them in the DM to invite them that way. Outside of that, paid ads is the most scalable strategy. I really like to say though, it makes more sense to prove the concept with organic and then do paid ads versus a lot of people just jump straight to paid ads. But paid ads is where the fun happens, where if you could really figure out your client acquisition costs of like, I spend $1,000 in ads and it brings me in a $2,000 client, then let's spend $10,000 in ads. And it just makes sense because it's scalable. So paid ads work really well with school communities right now because it's a free offer, a free opt-in, a free way to give people value. And so instead of leading to like a VSL where they have to book a call with you or a lot of these different strategies that used to work very well, what we're finding is that like paid ads leading to a free community is a very effective strategy. And then in addition to that, cold email. So you can pull lists, like very targeted lists, and send cold emails to people, inviting them to your school group. Like that's your main opt-in that you're leading people to. But cold email works well, and then like organic content throughout through your platforms, posting organically. But there's a lot of different things, but those are the main ones that we implement with our clients: are JV partnerships, LinkedIn automation, paid advertising, cold email.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're using a variety. I'm excited to scale some of that up. And I love that you mentioned like prove the concept first, right? Like how many people can you get in? What is the ascension process? Like how are you nurturing? What are the conversions? Because if they know the metrics, then yeah, the dollars are just dollars, right? Like put this much in, this much comes out. Great. Like we'll all play that game until it doesn't work. So it's good though. I just want people to hear like there's a lot of ways to grow. And by having that free community too, like I find that just becomes my podcast offers. Like obviously I have a book, grab a copy if you want one, or you could just come hang out with us, just go to connectionexpansion.com. No big deal. And what's great is it's like you're not really selling. Like it's an invite.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it, man. I agree. It's just a way to like, same thing for our case. And once you like build the funnel to like make it very clear once someone joins the free community that they are at least educated on what your paid offer looks like and how they can work with you more in depth. And like anybody that I meet here throughout Arizona, where it's a business owner, it's like, hey, dude, we got this awesome community. We bring on speakers every month. We do networking events. Like join here, and they don't have to invest anything, and they can like learn more about what you do, get access to value, and then like very easily understand what it is that the paid offer looks like. So yes, it's a great ecosystem to just bring your people together.
That's awesome, man. Let's talk about, I want to go back to Facebook because we talked about, you mentioned the platform and that, depending on your age, you're probably on it, right? Although I would say the more I speak at universities, I'll always ask them like, hey, are you on Meta? Oh, Facebook is what we all still call it, right? So like, are you on Facebook? And then it's like two people in the room now. Like it's crazy, right? Because that like, it's still the whale, right? Um, what about people who are trying to build communities in there, like inside the Facebook platform? Like, how do you feel about that as a community building tool versus like using it as an ad tool to invite them to a different platform?
I think there's still value in it because at the end of the day, an online community is just bringing people together around a common topic, and you can do that in a lot of different areas. You can have there's some that are better than others as far as like functionality if you're using it as a funnel, but you could have people in an Instagram group chat and an iMessage group chat and a Facebook group, but like there's a lot of different ways in which you can bring people together, and that's the main concept that we're trying to like help people do. But then with Facebook, in my eyes, there's just a lot more there's a lot more negative sides to it that other platforms don't have, and that's why I choose school. So like for example, just the fact that if I'm on Facebook just scrolling Facebook and like consuming content, I may not be in the mental headspace of like going in a community and having conversations and engaging in that way. I personally don't like even have the Facebook app on my phone or use Facebook personally, so I feel like you're also like cutting off a strong portion of the market. Like you said, like two people raise their hands now, so if you're targeting younger entrepreneurs or people in that age group, you're just cutting off a huge aspect of the market that isn't even using the platform. So I don't love it for that reason because I know I don't use it, and I know a lot of my members and the people involved with Arizona entrepreneurs are similar to me or my age range. So I know I'm basically just like cutting them off from ever being on our online community because they don't use Facebook. Um, and there, but with that being said, I know I have a friend who has like he's been a big mentor to me, and especially when I was first getting started in entrepreneurship, and he started him and his business partners a company called Clients in Community, and they had a lot of success with helping coaches launch Facebook groups, like client getting Facebook groups, and they did really well. So I don't want to discount the fact that you can still have success with Facebook, but I just feel like now that was before all these other platforms though. So now like school is becoming the industry leader, household name, and you can argue that like WAP or Circle are also like there's a few big ones that are competing, which I personally love because that just means they're all going to continue to like improve. But now that these big platforms are coming out specifically for like community and course building, that is taking over like what, in my eyes, what Facebook used to be, because those never used to exist, these online community platforms. So I just like it that with school, I'm in probably 10, 15 school groups with myself, like people that I learn from, and then clients that we work with. And it's just a way better user experience to where when I'm going on school, it's like a headspace of like I'm going to learn, hop in these communities, etc. Versus like Facebook, I may be there to look up political posts or whatever the case may be, and not like in the headspace of what people are doing on school.
Love that. Yeah, I had to ask. It's a bit of a setup question, but I know plenty of people that have huge Facebook communities and it works for them. And if it works for you, it works, but definitely just do your due diligence before pouring into a platform. What haven't we talked about? So we talked about some pros, we talked about some cons, we talked about the upside, free versus paid, platform selection. Like what else should we cover or is worth talking about when it comes to communities?
If you're going to use a community as a way to bring in clients, then like thinking about the funnel and the system as a whole. And so the way in which we work with a lot of our clients is like first we get very clear on what this free offer is. Like how can we make this free offer so extremely valuable that it makes people want to work with us more in depth? Like that's the concept we're thinking about. So building a free offer, coming up with the brand, the description, all of those things, and creating like a really strong free offer in VSL where someone can watch that video and be like, I need to be a part of this. What is this? Like that's the type of reaction you want to get from someone. And then when they join the group, having a clear client journey to like lead them then towards the aha moment of like this paid offer could be the solution for me. So thinking about it like a funnel, then the concept becomes again the VSL on the front end, like the front end landing page and everything that gets them to opt in. Then once they join, what we see is like the best way to like introduce or invite someone into your paid offer is you have DMs. So the school DMs are very powerful. Of like when someone joins, you can set up auto DMs. So they get a message like, "Hey, what's up, Devin? Grateful to have you here. Let me know if you have any questions." Or you can have it be a little bit more direct, like set up a time to book a call, or whatever the case may be. But having conversations in the DMs leading to your call to action, maybe that's book a call or join us on this webinar. It varies for offers. But DMs, and then in addition through the courses is a huge one. So the way we do it, and this took me a while to figure this out, but I realized when you make a short like mini course, 3 to 5 modules max, where it's like digestible content that if someone goes through and they actually apply themselves, they're going to have a big paradigm shift and they're going to learn some stuff. That is one of the best ways to like build the know, like, and trust, and just to provide value up front. And then what the way in which we structured it is we then after that we have all of our case studies. So for the inner circle, it's like this valuable 4 module course. After that, case studies of all of our inner circle members. So where someone goes through that course, they learn valuable things that they can apply even if they don't pay us $1. And then they also see these case studies of all these other inner circle members, and it leads directly to them applying for the inner circle. Another way you can do it, and depending how you scale your community, this could get a little overwhelming. You might need a team for this, but is onboarding, having an onboarding call with every member that joins. So every person joins your community, you have emails in place or whatever the case may be to like get them to book an onboarding call, and then use that call to learn more about their business, maybe make some introductions for them, and then like share with them what your offer looks like. And then email, I would say, is the one that works really well. So we connect go high level to school, like I mentioned. So we typically, for all of our clients, we set up a 10-step drip sequence. So once someone joins the group over the course of the next like 2 weeks to 30 days, that they're getting 10 emails, like storytelling, like very well written, copywritten emails to like lead towards the paid offer. So email is a great strategy. And then if you want, you can collect phone numbers like on the opt-in with the questions that you ask, and do outbound dials or have text marketing. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can like use the system to then lead towards your paid offer. But I think that's a conversation worth having if you're thinking about implementing a community to like grow your coaching offer, your service-based business, whatever it is. Just thinking about the whole client journey and how you're going to turn it into a funnel. Because if you get that part down, then like anybody I invite to this group, I like you could just rest assured knowing like they're going to get value from this group. And then also they're going to like, I know in the next 2 weeks, they're going to get hit with these emails and with this is going to happen, that they're going to know exactly what I do and how I can help them. And that becomes a very powerful funnel.
I appreciate you sharing that too, because I think people often run into stuff without the plan. That happens in marketing and sales all the time. And it's unfortunate because we're going to invest the time and the money, and it may not cost a lot. Like you may have a lot of the stuff ready. Like make sure there's an integrated plan. And so, always like to ask the experts, like if someone has watched this, have gotten this far, they've got that inkling going, man, maybe a community would work for my list or for my clients or as an acquisition strategy. Like how should they connect with you? And then give me an overview of like what are you going to help them with, or how can you help them?
Yeah. So how they can connect with me, honestly, the best platform is Instagram right now. That's where I'm most active. So we could share the Instagram in the show notes, but it's Devin Ray Butler, Devin. It's the same as Devin Sizemore here. So yeah, Instagram is the best way to connect with me. Also happy to like share my booking link if people just want to hop on a call and like learn more about our process. But we really have two offers in ways that we help people. So like we were talking about the whole blue collar university project, we have a community automation offer where our team runs the entire client acquisition funnel for them. So we're giving them the VSL scripts, the core scripts. We're running all of the messaging for them, like posting on the client's behalf, managing all of their DMs, converting people to their paid offers. So the automation offer is where our team is running the entire system for them. The only thing the creator has to do is like create the VSL video, which we give them the exact scripting and structure for, but create the VSL video and create the course content. And then like, that's all we need to go to work and like fill the community and create conversations and everything. So we have the community automation offer, and then we have the community accelerator. And that's where we walk people through this step-by-step, how to implement it themselves. They're in charge of the implementation, but we handhold them throughout the process and help them to implement each step to create results with the community launch funnel and exactly what we help people implement.
That's awesome. I can't advocate enough. I know we've gotten to know each other a lot, and I refer you to a lot of people. I love the way you do what you do. I can tell it's your passion. Um, Paint the picture, man. What's the future? What are you scaling with Arizona entrepreneurs? Like, what are you excited about heading into the rest of the year?
Yeah, it's interesting because this community automation offer, it opened up a lot of doors, because before we used to do done for you services, and it was mainly the build out where we're building we're building your landing page, all of your drip sequences, we're setting up the community, like we were just building everything out and like passing it on to the client. And so we started to work with people more in this management capacity to where we're managing the whole system for them. And it's got me really excited because it's a way to where we're able to work with a handful of people. That's something I don't want to scale to like 20 clients. It's something where we'll probably work with max like anywhere from 6 to 8 clients, but we're able to like be fully involved in their coaching business and helping them to scale. And for me, the way in which we structure it is it's a small profit share, but it incentivizes us on like growing and scaling these communities and like helping the client to make more money. And that really excites me to where the way that I like see my businesses and how I want to grow is like I have my own community in Arizona entrepreneurs, but I just want to build communities around the world and be involved in with other coaches and experts and people who can actually provide transformation and change people's lives. Like I want to work with the right people who are creating that type of change, but just helping these communities build around the world. And what it's pivoted to, like I still can work with people who do in-person events because that's where I got my start. I love in-person events, and that's like extremely beneficial. But what I've realized is that like now, especially with online communities blowing up, it's so much more scalable, and you're able to like impact way more people. So my ultimate goal, man, is I want Arizona entrepreneurs to be the household name here in the state where any entrepreneur just getting started or worth over $100 million can get plugged in and get value from the community that we built. And then around the world, just working with badass community builders and coaches and experts and helping them to build some life-changing communities around the world.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I appreciate your time, man. If you guys are watching this, listening to this in the ACES community, there'll be links below. I highly recommend you connect with Devin. If you're an Arizona business owner, obviously you should be in his community. That's a no-brainer sales pitch because why would you not be? Plus, you can see how he does stuff. He also helps us in our community. So we're testing stuff and trying different things as well. Devin, thank you for your time, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Devin.